Now, we just received a video right now of the NIO president coming out and talking about what is it that we can expect, of course, this year. He just signaled something very important, and that is, of course, price-wise, the new 2025 NIO models that are going to be launched from now in Q2 going forward. Price-wise, they are not going to change, but he said there are going to be massive features, more features added at the same price, which is something that is so great, because he said even the material that is building these new 2025 facelift models are going to be so great, of top quality, which is something that is just so great. But he also mentioned something that so many of the investors, or some few of the new investors, have been asking, and that is what about the new MPV? He said, look, the MPV market, if you are to look in the Chinese market, for instance, it sells less than 5%, or it constitutes less than 5% of the overall car sales in China. And they said because of this, they realized that they need to prioritize, of course, cars that do well in China, which in his instant, or what he has been saying, he was talking about the SUV. He said the SUV market in China is the market that does so well in China, which is why they've got quite a number of SUVs. He said, in fact, they realized, NIO, that after doing their research, there is actually a market for large SUVs. You know that when you talk about large SUVs, on NIO's current existing models, we are talking about the ES8, right? That is the large SUV that you get from NIO. Otherwise, there is no other large SUV. The other ones, ES7 is not that large, but the sneak peek that we saw recently, it is revealing that that might also be a large SUV. ES7, the new revamped 2025 ES7 might be a large SUV, which is something that is great. But he said they are rather going to focus tapping on large SUVs, because the market for large SUVs in China, it's apparently so good. It is why it would make sense for NIO to have also large SUVs. You will know that even for the sub-brand Onvo, the L80 and the L90 might be large SUVs, which we have seen already camouflaged. I think the L90, it's quite big, and the reason why NIO is tapping towards that market is because they realize that it has got more potential than MPVs, which is why they are not prioritizing the going and make their own MPVs, but rather going to large SUVs first. They are not saying, or the president did not say that they are not going to consider going to MPVs, but he said right now what's important, it's obviously going to the large SUV markets, which they are going to get that, I suppose, with the AS7, ES8, and on the sub-brand L80 stroke L90 might be the largest SUV that you find coming from Onvo. And all this, he said, is going to help in boosting their sales. He said already they've got quite a number of products. He said these products are so many, and they are going to make sure that it works, right? They don't want to just continuously make new models without having or finding a proper strategy for their existing models, which is why they are saying shifting to large SUVs. It's one of the strategies that they believe it can work, it can take them to the next level, looking at the market that we have been seeing in China, right? He talks about also the mid sedans, or the sedans. He said when you look at the full EV market, there are sort of like 3 cars that are doing well, which NIO is one of them, and these cars have got, or dominates the sedan market, right, when it comes to the full EV cars. And he said the companies that comes after the top 3, these 3 companies, obviously they're not even getting 1/3 of what one of each company in the top 3 is getting in terms of sales. Which, I mean, large SUVs, based on the president of NIO, based on their studies that they've conducted, they have got a 48% market share, meaning that there is a market for that SUVs, or for those SUVs, ES8, probably ES7, L90, they've got a market, which is why they are prioritizing or going to target the large SUVs market, which is something that hopefully we get to see them doing well also there, which will be so great and amazing. He said as long as on this big SUV market the product is good, or the SUV is good, you can be able to improve sales, or you can grow your sales, which is something that it makes him to believe that neo cars will do exceptionally well, or these big SUVs that they are launching will do very well in the market. So he's saying in the next 2 years they will be focusing on that. That is their strategy, and they are going to make sure that they execute, they generate sales. And obviously, you know that this year they are targeting in Q4 to get to profitability, which hopefully these large SUVs help them to get to that level. I mean, there's already, like I said, a camouflaged Envo, which looks like an L90, which it's going to be launched in Q3. Deliveries are going to start in Q4, and hopefully it also scores some pretty good, decent sales for Neo. There is also the ES7, which might be launched, or which is going to be launched also this year. And this time around, it's a large SUV, and hopefully it also scores or scoops more sales, which is something that we look forward to. ES8, I think it will be a vehicle that will launch next year, but there is a but. ES7 is going to be a large car, right? The chances are very high that the camouflage car that we've been seeing is the ES7. They've made it quite big or quite large, and the ES8 will even come with more specs that differentiates or that makes it to stand out from the ES7, which is something that is great, and we look forward to that. So yeah, man, I just thought I'd give you this quick update. Tell me what you think about this. Blue sky is coming, man. Those that are persevering throughout the areas, the share price will most definitely be rewarded with time. Share price wise, near today, it's up almost 4%, and hopefully it ends the day very well, because this is the stock that has been beaten down quite sharply, especially after they announced injecting or issuing more shares last week. So like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. This is not financial advice, these are just my opinions. I'll see you on the next one, and God bless you all.
冰箱台电大沙它在接下来的产品里面呢，多多少少都会上。广告时间哈，2025款开始就有很多改变。那么今天2024款，第一个它的基本素质依然能打，算力天花板、安全天花板、用料扎实，因为在停产周期前便宜好几万。2025款大横屏 SUV 更多的改进加量和加价。第三代品牌开始呢，我们在不断的改进MPV 暂时还是没有影响。不是因为 MPV 不敢做，两个原因。第一个呢 ，MPV 是一个总量不大的市场，因为在整个乘用车里面呢 ，MPV 从来就没有超过4.5%，整个大盘里面这4.5%里面还有大个子，就是几万块钱的五菱宏光都在里面。所以呢，大家看到中端以上的 MPV 呢，起来一个前面指标了，就比较合理，比例第一，是吧？我们呢，天量也上，觉得风险也大，不是不该做，不是不该做，这是第一个原因。第二个原因呢？就是我们后来想了想，开发的车是不是有点多了，排个序吧。那大 SUV 毫无疑问要先做呀，它占市场48%呀。在中国的车市 ，SUV 是一个我称之为叫做民主的市场。你们看一下 SUV前20名的销量，我们把价格都放掉，看量，什么品牌都有只要你产品做得好，你就能上量。大家刚才批评的对呀，我们ES8第一代当时相对优势没干得好我们第二代相对优势下降了，我们没干得不好只要产品好。就马上能上，但是轿车就不是一个民主的市场。中低端车大部分网约中高端车轿车 BBA 3厂占了90%，第4名连他们1/3都讲牌子、讲面子MPV 是一个在部分群体里面很活跃的需求量大盘来说，它只占5%，高端呢可能就25%，中高端。所以呢，我们经过权衡把它往后放另外一个呢，想一下多哥我们把有限的资源集中投入到可以上量的产品里面去。我们过去呢，注意力相对分散了一点，我们为此已经付出代价了。我们接下来的2年呢，有一个很重要的事情就是推销。其实这个提效减少浪费，很多真的不是个人什么事，因为什么好人坏人都把世界想得太简单了。就是你决定做5个事儿，但最后有4个没成，和你决定做2个事儿，它成了，这个中间就是几十亿级的区别。就几十亿级的区别，我们未来在聚焦和重点选择这个事儿上，过去几年很多